more than one way to convince the bondholders that they should take their bond and convert it into stock. And we just looked through one way, which was to give them cash and to try to convince them that they should take $150 for every bond, and they'll get that in addition to the 40 shares. But another way, if we didn't want to part with that $27 million, is to say, okay, wait a minute, let's just give you more shares, right? Instead of giving you 40 shares, which is what the original provisions of the bond said, you get 40 shares for every bond, we'll up that. We'll give you 45 shares. So if we give them 45 shares, we don't have to pay the cash to convert, but we give up more equity in exchange. And the argument is, do you really give up more equity? Well, there's certainly going to be more shares outstanding. So you are giving up more equity. You're diluting the ownership of all the remaining shareholders. But here's what the accounting looks like. I left on here the journal entry we recorded when we converted the bonds, if they were to be converted at a rate of 40 shares per bond. But now, and here's the calculation, right? We said the face value divided by the face value per bond. We were going to convert 180,000 bonds. They're no longer going to get 40 shares. They're going to get 45, which means there are going to be 8.1 million new shares issued as a result of the bond conversion. That's significantly more. That's almost 1 million new shares. And so what would happen from an accounting perspective is this 7.2 million increases to 8.1. That 8.1, remember, came from number of shares times the par value per share, which is $1. So the common stock account gets 8.1 million, and the paid-in capital in excess of par decreases because, remember, that's a plug account. And I think what's important to remember here is the math still works the same. You're still putting the same amount into the equity section of the balance sheet. But from an investor's perspective, this conversion method is less desirable because now you've just diluted how many shares they have. Sorry, I just realized there was an error with that number. I want to get that the right number. You still have the same $178,200,000 getting put into equity, but now my shares are going to be worth less because there are more shares issued and outstanding. So a little less attractive for the common shareholder, more attractive to the bondholder because they're going to own more of the ownership interest in the company as a result of the conversion.